Hello, my name is Brian Check, and I'll come straight to the point. I'm asking you to join the organization I run. I'm not asking you to donate money. I want you to join Cassie as a member with modest membership dues, and then enjoy one of our books as a membership gift. Cassie is an acronym for the Center for the Advancement of the Steady State Economy, Cassie. We are the leading organization in the world that's focused explicitly on, well, advancing the steady state economy. And what's a steady state economy? It's very straightforward. It's an economy with a stabilized, sustainable size. It's not growing and it's not shrinking. It's stable. Now, obviously, it's not flatlined either. It's going to fluctuate with the conditions like weather and geopolitics and new technology. But for all practical purposes, it's stabilized. That means a stabilized population times consumption per person, and that means a stabilized GDP. There can be plenty of dynamic improvement in a steady state. New technologies could be less damaging, consumers can choose more wisely, and politicians can step in on occasion and prevent some of the conspicuous waste. But no matter how advanced we get with technology or how wise we get with consumption, perpetual growth is not sustainable. And we've got to get to a steady state before we trash this planet for the kids and grandkids. Now, I've been to all 50 states. Everyone is so precious. And at Cassie, we have what we call the Steady State by State campaign. This week, obviously, we're reaching out to South Carolina, reaching out to you. We also have a county focused campaign and a federal campaign. I'll touch very briefly on those too. But I want to emphasize that at Cassie, we think South Carolina is too good to sacrifice to the GDP bulldozer. That's our metaphor, of course, for the relentless economy. In South Carolina, the bulldozer of GDP is degrading the environment, straining public services, and outpacing infrastructure. Actually, that's what a growing GDP does everywhere, eventually at least, and it's happening as we speak in the Palmetto State. Some of these problems are highly localized, like the ozone levels over Greenville Spartanburg, the skyrocketing housing prices in Clemson, and the off the charts PFAS levels in the Pocataligo River. Others are global issues that manifest in South Carolina like sea level rise. I still remember the sea level rise models I coordinated for Cape Romaine, Ace Basin, and Waccamaw National Wildlife Refuges. The state of South Carolina was shut down back then from even talking about sea level rise. But you can't shut down sea level rise in a world of 430 parts per million of CO2 and growing in lockstep with our fossil fueled economy. And forget about fuel source for a moment. It doesn't matter if we fuel it with fairy dust. It's GDP up, biodiversity down. That's why if you catalog the causes of species endangerment, like I did for my PhD research, they read like a who's who of the American economy. Well, I don't think I should belabor the point. Anyone with a decent dose of common sense gets it about limits to growth and the fundamental conflict between economic growth and environmental protection, economic sustainability, national security, and international stability. But, you may have thought that there's nobody out there working on it, working on viable policy solutions. Well, we have been for 23 years. And at Cassie, we know how to push back the GDP bulldozer. With the Keep Our Counties Great campaign, we help counties transition to a steady state, starting with the County Comprehensive Plan. We go after state policies that force growth, usually under the false flag of affordable housing. But there's hardly a town, county or state that can keep the bulldozer of GDP at the gates if our federal government is hell bent on growth. That's why we work so hard on the Steady State Economy Act, our comprehensive omnibus bill to transition the country off the growth path and toward the steady state economy. Will you join us? Or please join some organization that's working on the real big picture long term problem, the obsession with economic growth. Please make it an organization that doesn't shy away from the concept and the language of the sustainable alternative to growth, the steady state economy. But you know what? I can save you some time. You will find that Cassie is pretty much the only game in town for serious steady statesmanship. So please join Cassie today. It's super easy. Just reopen the email and click on the button that says Join Cassie. Or go to steadystate.org, and click the Join tab in the menu bar. We'll help you and fellow South Carolinians push back and keep South Carolina great with a sustainable steady state.